hilarious when you scream it. When you scream it and you're kind of cracking, and I'm gonna do it, I'll do it. It's fun. Sometimes, like, and that's the thing that usually gets people sometimes, and especially when someone's trying to have a really serious conversation with me and I don't want it to be serious. I just do that. So I'll literally just go, that's that. Did I think I would ever do that in a wrong Italy? Absolutely not. But I'm happy I did. Hope you had your phones out.
That's great.
Thank you so much for that. I'm gonna take another switch.
Thank you. Hello. I love your hair. Oh my gosh. Y'all have the coolest hair, by the way.
Truly.
I keep saying that to so many people. It's beautiful.
It's fantastic.
I just wanted to add that Jojo, don't worry. You should have seen how nervous Jensen was to perform singing live a few years ago, and now he's like a rock star. So we'll get you there.
Thank you. I needed that. I needed that support. So thank you very much.
Since they're not here, please tell us your favorite things about working with Meg and Nita.
Working with Nita is, she has, and you will hear it and you'll know, just think back to this moment, her laugh. You can hear it 8 blocks away. It's ridiculous, it's so funny. You know she's on set, like the second her band pulls up, because she'll laugh. It's so loud, but it's infectious. It's beautiful. I love it. And then for Meg, Meg is a literal, I know you guys get the references, but she is just SpongeBob. Like, she literally, the most random times, just, I don't know how to explain it, she just is.
She is SpongeBob, and she's like a full, like, walking SpongeBob encyclopedia. Like, she just knows everything about it. She has all the memes. Like, the amount of memes that she has on her phone of SpongeBob is just insane. And just of memes in general.
She takes it so serious.
She does take it very seriously. I have a feeling she'll work for the company one day, or she'll do something. She'll be involved. But, no, yeah, favorite thing about Meg, I would say, is her style. I think she has a really cool and unique style. If you see her photos and stuff, like the thing about it is that she wears all this clothes, and none of it, you would think it wouldn't make sense together, but she just makes it make sense, and she owns it, and she's confident with it, so I really love that about her. Similar to what Drake said, Nita, her laugh is infectious. She's such a fun, weird in the best way, like, person to, like, just hang with and be around. Also very sweet and thoughtful and loving, and easiest person to scare on set. If you ever follow one of my lives, or not lives, but if you ever follow one of my, like, takeovers, or just my story in general, I'm always scaring her any chance I get. And she'll get, like, what did you say last time? Like, you'll literally stand right in front of her, and you'll just, like, go like, ah! And she'll just scream bloody murder, just, like, out of nowhere. Like, just, like, it's that easy. But she's the best. They're both amazing. They're fantastic to work with. Just great energy to be around. Yeah.
Seems like you are too.
Oh, thanks so much. Thank you.
I also brought my mom with me, actually. She's 71.
Hey, Mom!
To the moms!
To the moms!
I was just slightly shocked by the fact that you guys actually watched the show, because you know that all the Supernatural cast didn't watch the show.
They really not, ever.
Yeah, like, if you ask them actual canon questions and stuff, a lot of them are just like Brianna and Matt the other day, Brianna was like, oh, you played Michael? Oh, well, no, first she said, who's Michael? And I was like, wait, you played Michael? I thought you played John Winchester. And like Rob and Rich have their podcast, and they're very surprised by all the things that happen on the show. It's actually pretty good. So I was just wondering, what made you guys actually want to watch your own show compared to the Supernatural cast?
Watch our own show?
Yeah, the fact you're in it and you're watching it.
Oh.
We just get a kick out of it. Like, we think it's the funniest thing. Like, because we know what happened the take before or the moment before. Or like, anytime that the camera's on one person, it's 4 other people fucking with you on the other side of the camera while you're trying to talk about, like, your dying brother's mother's sister. You know, it's like, it's so, we just get a kick out of, like, the whole experience. And it really is, we should videotape ourselves.
Reacting to an episode.
Because y'all should see how we watch it. It's like we're sitting down watching.
It's hysterical. We're honestly, sometimes even in the most dramatic moments, we're laughing at ourselves because it's literally that. Like, while you're talking about like being in the war in Vietnam and all that stuff, and you're just like in tears. It's just me on the other hand going, you know, or doing like stupid shit, or people on the other side just doing crazy stuff, you know. It's just wild. It's hilarious and it's a good time. But yeah, it's fun. It's good. It's cool to watch with people. I have a hard time watching by myself. I never like watching episodes by myself, and I also tend to literally watch the episode one time and never again. Never again. I mean, I'll watch things that people make, you know, when people like send in edits to me or they tag me in things, like I'll watch those, but like, it's like a one and done. Once I watch the episode, it's like, all right, thank you, leave it behind, because I'm the kind of person that I can get I can overanalyze any little thing, and just get really in my head about stuff, and you know, we don't need that, so, yeah.
One of the pieces of advice Jensen had given me is he's like, hey, like, you know, a lot of times when there's, you know, Misha's coverage, he's like, that's your time. That's your time to shine. Fuck with it. I was like, poor Misha, man. Poor Misha.
Drake is king of that. Drake is probably the person of all the people on set that loves to like mess with people the most. But it's always in good spirit and it's always a lot of fun. It's good.
That's what they tell themselves.
That's what they say. That's what we tell ourselves to get through it.
Besides the slow-mo checking out of Carlos, were there any other edits that you were surprised or like, that's not how I remember it?
All of them. Like 90% of them. Stuff gets said like at the end of a scene that then they edit at the beginning of the scene, and you're like, that's so interesting. Like there's an edit, and truly speak to the power of editing and the power of like, your performance is in the hands of someone else, and they can make or break it. They make it a lot of times. Or, you know, not that they break it, please don't hate the others. But like, I was just talking, I had lunch with Robbie, and he was saying, yeah, there's a scene in 13 where he's like, you know, you have this chunk of dialogue, and we basically, in post, cut out the beginning and the end of it. And I was like, that's fucking crazy. Like, just because I had a through-line performance, a masterful through-line performance, and you just chopped. No, but it's crazy because it probably makes sense for the story, but like the power that they have. So all the time we're shocked by like what gets cut and what gets added, and most of the time it's probably for the better.
Yeah. No, yeah, sometimes it's actually quite hilarious because they'll come over to you and they'll be like, so I've got some good news and I've got some bad news. And I'm just like, okay, what's the good news? Well, the good news is, in this episode, you did this scene and it was the best acting you've done so far in the entire run of the season. And I'm like, oh, amazing, so what's the bad news? The bad news is, we cut it. So like that happens sometimes, you're just like, ah, okay. But at the end of the day, it usually services the story much better. And you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. And at the end of the day, as long as it's helping and benefiting the story, that's all that matters. So yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What we tell ourselves.
Hey.
So I have actually two questions, because your two seem as very funny goofballs. I want to know, what's the funniest thing you've done so far on the set?
Every time that somebody asks something that we should know, we freeze and we don't know. I have an interesting relationship with Tom Welling, who plays Sam. Where out of everyone in the cast, we fuck with each other more than anyone. And I don't know why, we just have that bond. But every single time there's a scene where we cross each other's path, let's just say Jojo's Tom. For the sake of this would be it, like we're walking past just